this is the time where they're most beatable. We actually saw the power of that in our previous series. KC unable to turn around that loss against TL from yesterday in their match up against the Flying Oysters. And now, can TL find the avenue in?
It only takes one upset in group stage to change the whole dynamic, you know? So
it's ruthless. When it's just that one guy that gets kicked out, you know, it does make things very, very difficult. I guess there's a lot of people on the team, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Zig's going to be taken away here as the Nidalee going to be removed from Kanavi. This, I don't know, man. I just feel like let's keep our expectations low. I'm not gonna do it. All right, I'm like, my brain is doing that thing where I'm getting that hope. And I'm like looking at UmTi's face. I've seen him do the impossible on this stage. Okay, I've also seen him do other things that have looked a little bit more like the regular season of this year. But sometimes he just comes out and he schools Canyon. You know, and that was at a time where Canyon was much more formidable.
Yes.
And so he could do it here.
I love the inner turmoil you're currently going through with yourself.
There's so much. There is so much.
You're trying to be a fair, honest caster. At the same time, you want to be filled with hope and excitement.
So maybe they can kill JackeyLove more than one time this game. Let's keep expectations low.
Wow, you really shifted from I believe to I'm going to do the bare minimum.
Hey, bare minimum would be to equalize.
Okay. Well, Talia, Varus, and the Ziggs taken off from the side of Top Esports, and they're immediately going to lock in the Rumble for 369, a player that has really stood out for Top Esports throughout the year.
This is so hard, too, because I feel like the Rumble first pick really baits that Vi pick incredibly aggressively, because giving over Rumble Vi is something that you never want to do.
Do you know what looks really good right now?
What looks really good?
Maokai.
Oh, yeah.
It's open, easy lock-in. What direction are Team Liquid thinking about, though? They're going to lock in the Ezreal. With the Varus gone, they're feeling confident. JackeyLove could consider his, well, I mean, his world-famous Kai'Sa.
Yeah, there are a few things that he has an option of picking up, and Rumble also fits into a lot of different styles of composition as well. Like, you can play dive with Rumble very comfortably.
You certainly can. We know that JackeyLove also loves his Misfortune, so options aplenty here in the first game. What's going to be the jungle lock-in? It's Xin Zhao.
This is so UmTi.
I mean, it's coming in with a lot of confidence, I would say.
Also feels out of left field almost entirely, but definitely very color coordinated with the Ezreal.
It certainly is.
So now they just need to bank on the fact that Creme isn't going to pick Azir, and so they can stay on that largely yellow theme moving in. But outside of that, it does really raise some eyebrows, because this was pretty obviously coming in, right? The Vi comes through. I don't know about this one. This is worrisome.
I am a hater on the Aurora. Of course, I am open-minded, and I'm willing to be proven wrong.
An open-minded hater.
Yes, and I've seen Creme's Aurora before, and I know that it's a power to be reckoned with.
Indeed.
Okay, but I've also seen Kanavi have mixed performances on the Vi as well, and that is a gap. Now,
this is golden themed as well.
I will.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It's important that we color coordinate.
Indeed.
Now, Galio as an answer to Rumble is something we've seen a lot.
And it's a tank for impact as well. I feel like it ticks a lot of boxes.
It's a flex. You could potentially put it into the mid lane. You can already see an AP-heavy draft on the side of Top Esports. And the Kai'Sa being taken away from Team Liquid, they know. I wonder if they'll follow it up with something like the MF, or if instead they're a little bit concerned about a potential other AD carry. CoreJJ, he looked not of approval there coming from him.
Yeah. And I love this based on the fact that Xin Zhao was locked in, right? Like, you can see, the band's coming on through there as the Kai'Sa and the MF both hitting the bench. Things like the Ashe up and available, like there are a bunch of things still left.
The Karma and the Azir. Okay, so the Karma, I was wondering, sometimes we've seen Karma as an answer into the Rumble, but I think they're also worried about the pushing potential of an Ezreal Karma on the bot side of the map. The Azir is just a very safe mid laner. And with the Talia gone, I'm curious as to what direction APA will go. And they're going for the double AD carry again. So now the question is, what will their final engage tool be? Because they've got Xin to kind of start off the fight. You've got Galio to follow you up. But then do you go for something like a Leona for that extra bit of dual engage / follow-up? Or do you instead put the Galio towards the bot side of the map and pick something else towards top lane?
Oh, yeah, that's true. There's some flexes that we do need to bear in mind. I just think that Galio into the Rumble is just such a strong option.
JackeyLove's Ashe.
JackeyLove has been pretty good at Ashe for quite some time. Ashe Braum, a terrifying lane to go up against. And with the Karma banned away, it makes the Braum pick feel even better.
I like the pick potential on the side of top esports, but I think that when you round out this composition with Braum, it's very much about like anti-engage. You're kind of now, you're welcoming the dive from the side of
CoreJJ doesn't look too excited about how things are going. He was grimacing.
Grimacing. I mean,
I love Rakan Galio is tried and true, man.
I really like this comp from Team Liquid. I think that you've got relatively safe front to back. I think you have decent follow-up on the Xin Zhao. I would argue that you don't have a huge amount of peel for the AD carries, but they're very self-sufficient AD carries. Tristana and Ezreal have great ways to disengage from a fight. And like, Aurora, I think, is going to struggle in this game. I think range is one of the problems that she as a champion has. And I think that after the repeatedness, like we were talking about, I think she's a great counter pick. But when you pick a blind into a Tristana, you're going to get pushed in. You're not going to have that real mid-wave control, which I think is important when setting up around these neutrals. And while I think that there's decent follow-up on the side of top esports, I think that Vi's and Engage is very committal. So I'm going to say
you could be committing a lot further than you want to as well. Crescent Guard and Buster Shot is a lot of units of distance that you can be moved away.
I'm optimistic about Team Liquid's composition. Ultimately, top esports is a team that will skill check you, and that's going to be the biggest test for Team Liquid. Can they match the pure individual talent that this top esports roster has, as sometimes that alone has been enough to win them games.
Yeah, so far, Swiffer and Spawn have passed the test. I think they've set their team up with a beautiful draft. It's about whether these players can utilize it to its fullest potential. And once again, are we going to see that this Aurora is a little bit of a trap? Is the Vi not the pick that you're looking for? Because remember, this went to the 3rd round of picks, right?
Yep.
This was picked up 2nd on blue side. The first pick, Rumble, we know is terrifying. This is something that 369 is so good at. Oh man, there are a lot of questions that need answering. Let's answer them right now as we jump into the Rift.
30 seconds until
I'm excited.
Me too, man.
I'm going to use this series to forget about the first one of the day.
I reckon that, just wash it off.
Yeah, wash it off. And, I mean, Team Liquid, they... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, who's catching who?
Yeah, it's the sandwich. The audacious charge comes in from UmTi. He is about to get stunned up, though, and UmTi might just start this game off dead. The heal does come on through. Yeon, immediate cleanse. That's Captain Jack-esque. You love to see it, but you don't love to see the amount of top esports players chasing down TL, and APA is going to be the one that bites the dust. First blood to his lane opponent as well.
Braum Ashe is a devastating level 1. The passive from Braum, the slows from Ashe. That was devastating for Team Liquids.
They invested a heal and a flash as well, and it was cleanse, heal, and double flashes now on cooldown for TL. That's not, I think, how TL planned the early game to go.
No, I don't think that they
that is an assumption.
Factored that in.
I admit.
Yeah, I think the idea was they caught out the bot lane of top esports. They thought that they had found an opportunity to get a nice punish. Unfortunately, that punish did not go the way that they would have liked. So, top esports start the game off with first blood, a couple summoner spells burn, but potentially, JackeyLove could be a prime target with no flash available, does have the cleanse still, keeping my eyes... Oh, look at UmTi. We talked about it. The level 2 is going to come through very soon.
And Cleanse doesn't do anything against any of these. Double knockup comes through from Core. He will get stunned up, but JackeyLove is in so much trouble. UmTi just a bit body block, but it does not matter. He puts that spear to Jackie and takes him down. And so that is halfway to the goal.
I mean, I will say that the pathing from UmTi is going to be a mess. It is...
he used to do this on Bro all the time, by the way. It's like, we're going to start this game off with a bang. Things often went a little bit wrong after that, but I love it. I think actually just getting that gank to work, getting that confidence, it doesn't matter. You know, your jungle might be a mess, it's fine.
Yeah, so we'll see how Kanavi punishes it, if he does. UmTi was a little bit of two minds here. You'll notice as well, the level 2 comes through from the bot lane of top esports, but Core also gets level 2 himself, and UmTi arriving. JackeyLove has no flash. It's a very easy play.
Yep, immediately going home there as well. So UmTi getting to work towards his top side. Kanavi getting some vision down. And I think UmTi should be able to take this one out without too much of a worry here. Deciding instead whether he wants to fight. Level disadvantage here as the Smite War does go the way of the Xin Zhao, who's just going to march his way towards his bottom side. His Krog's still up, but that's not too much to worry about.
Oh god, this is a mess, isn't it? So Wolves into red, into Raptors, into blue. Nope, he's skipping blue. He's going with bot crab, so he doesn't get double crabbed.
Unless he's ganking bottom lane again. Because surely he'll want to...
you might be right.
Oh, there we go, UmTi.
Oh,
there's my bot. He does. But is it actually going to matter? Because Jackie, remember, doesn't have too much of an option. Win becomes lightning, but doesn't become attached to the Ashe.
That was a really good E from the Ashe. Just because had they not spotted that one out, that likely would have been another successful gank, and JackeyLove would have been in a bit of trouble.
I kind of love the fact that he's going for it, though. UmTi going to be now grabbing himself a crab. Impact doesn't love how things are going because, of course, UmTi did show himself. So that means that now this chicken on the top side could be in trouble. The Vault Breaker coming forward. Oh, there's that heroic, the Justice Punch. But Kanavi didn't take turret aggro, so it doesn't matter. Still, Minion Wave going to be dealt with, and Impact just gives him the thumbs up. And he's fine. Remember, still has the teleport as the back is going to be interrupted there as well. And buying more time for UmTi, very important. So Kanavi getting delayed, going to be good.
Yeah, all those camps are back up now for Kanavi, as finally UmTi will be able to clear out his bot side camps. The Wolves respawn, crucial pickup.
Yeah, he might actually be even with Kanavi for a few seconds. So that does mean that he's not punished that much. And I actually think that the delayed back is kind of good.
The problem is going to be the respawns.
Yeah.
Because now Kanavi has his whole jungle to clear, and the Raptors still are yet to respawn. So this is where we're going to start to see that discrepancy.
Still a few seconds on that flash in the bottom lane. Just FYI.
I mean, he's looking for a lane gank. The ping has come down onto Kanavi. He's hovering around the bot side. They're cautious of the fact that Dragon may have been started up.
Ooh, the fake back scenario.
His way in.
APA is just going to rocket jump. He will be okay. And now JackeyLove in trouble once again. We mentioned the flash cooldown. It is barely up and available. And yep, the door has to wear off. And that is another kill. And that is mission accomplished, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, they've done a really good job of punishing this flashless Ashe. It's exactly what you need to do. The double knockups coming through from both Rakan and the 3-talent strike from the Xin Zhao made it impossible for JackeyLove to really go anywhere. It's unfortunate that Yeon doesn't get the kill. Unfortunately, the Braum shield was basically blocking all of his auto attacks.
Yeah.
So CoreJJ had to secure it, but getting the kill, ultimately the greater good. So good job from Team Liquid.
And I think we're getting a little bit of a taste for how this Team Liquid composition wants to work as well, right? It is the just go in over and over again, but when you factor in the Galio on top of it, like, the amount of knockups is going to be absolutely absurd. The bouncy castle that TL have available to themselves, once we get to the mid and late game, it's going to be a big deal. It's just about getting yourself into a position where you can utilize it, because TES, this can be really explosive. If they get a few kills in a row, the game can just not even really be there for TL.
And I will say, this is not the Aurora gameplay I'm used to, where Creme is just...
Yeah, you just walk up and you combo. This is the one I'm used to. This is what I was expecting.
He is just very much bullying APA out of that lane. He's got a healthy CS lead in the 1v1 matchup. We'll look back at this play from Team Liquid. There's the initial knockup from the Rakan. There is the follow-up knockup from UmTi. And you can see the auto attacks being blocked there by Chris, means that CoreJJ ends up securing that kill. So I guess a small piece of good news for top esports, given that Yeon isn't starting to snowball out of control. And ultimately, it's important to recognize that it's top esports that still have the gold lead. That top matchup is still very much going in favor of 369.
Not to mention that first blood that Creme was able to pick up.
Exactly. Creme is only extending that lead as well. You can see that he is about a healthy, what is that, 14, 15 CS ahead?
Yep, and APA started the psychological warfare, as now we have emotes flying back and forth, and Creme, well, he's pretty happy to play that game. As you can see, over and over again, every time his spells are available, he is using them. And APA looks like he's just happy to scale. Of course, Tristana is generally one of those, has the cull, and so he's just looking for a couple of items before things are really going to start happening. And UmTi parked around this dragon. They're not going to start it off just yet or anything like that, as TES now wondering where they want to go. First round of grubs did go all to Kanavi, so that is going to be feats of strength also picked up there, or at least one portion of it.
Bit of a roam coming through.
Yeah, this is
APA. Will be spotted out.
Does have that buster shot available, so a reposition on one of these bottom lane members of TES could be coming through, but not unless they land a few more of the abilities here. Grand Entrance not really coming on through. And this is one of the negatives for this composition from TL. There's a Grand Entrance and a Heroic Entrance on the same team.
Yeah.
And that does make things quite confusing for me, maybe.
For you specifically.
Yes.
Which, honestly, quite inconsiderate of Team Liquid.
That's what I thought Spawn and I were friends.
I thought so too. But clearly, after that lock-in,
yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to find out this way.
I know. At least I've got you here with me to help me through it.
Oh, we're friends?
Oh, no! Oh.
I was thinking more like a colleague, work relationship sort of.
Oh, I guess I am just, it's all just crashing
friend
around
is such a strong word, you know what I mean? It's like really like all there. It's
is
just,
it really? Maybe
anyway, Kanavi
yeah.
looking to be pretty friendly around the bot side of the map as he looks to try and cover for JackeyLove.
Oh wait, so they can be friendly and it's just easy, is it?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. All right, well, APA, he's looking for that angle, as you can see. Creme is finally going to get buster shotted, but I was expecting kind of more to happen there. I think UmTi instead decided to keep his position unknown. I don't know how unknown it is. He decides to go in on JackeyLove, who does flash away. The rest of TL looking to make their way over as the Crescent Guard not necessarily keeping him as alive as he wants to. But Yeon finds a beautiful ultimate. UmTi also flashing away Creme right in amongst it. And unfortunately, the door doesn't go multiple directions. Creme manages to take the first kill. And TL, he didn't kill one of them. Just one of them. These health bars are so low as CoreJJ dives forward. APA flashing out of the way. Wind becomes lightning, but doesn't become anything else. And the Dragon is also a problem. The arrow gonna connect. It is soaked there by CoreJJ. Dragon, leave it alone, buddy.
Whew. That was a close one. It's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. And that was crazy chaotic.
That was so weird. You can imagine the top laners, while it's all happening, saying, it's all very silly down there.
It all seems rather silly indeed. So UmTi recognizes JackeyLove is isolated, so goes in, gets a really good amount of damage down, and then ulti. So Jackie isn't doing any damage to him in that moment. Then ulti comes in from CoreJJ, combined with the target focus, was just fantastic. But then at this point, they catch out their target, and they're able to get some good damage down, and Creme was able to secure the kill onto Yeon. So now it's a trade of 80 carries, and now it's awkward, because APA doesn't have any mana left. The Dragon is also hitting onto him. Kanavi, with a lot of HP, rejoins the fight. UmTi moves up, I think, to clear out a ward? And then the arrow comes through. The Dragon, in the meantime, is just awkwardly deciding whose alliance it should really form. And then at the end of the day...
6 grubs as well.
It's poor JackeyLove, though. 0-3. Yeah. Really has been bullied this
I was joking
game.
when I said that the goal is to kill JackeyLove more than one time.
Spawn heard you. He took that personally,
It
man.
seems to be that, like, I mean, he succeeded. They're also looking for Creme. True shot barrage, not enough. As Creme is pushed away. I do want to say, though, this is the Creme that we wanted to see yesterday. I think up against Zeka, he had a pretty quiet series. Just in general. Wasn't bad by any means, but just wasn't having too much of an impact. This time, though, you can see doing a lot of damage, about 1,000 gold in the lead, and is looking to really make his presence known later on. Justice Punch not going to connect there, as our Gargoyle and Yordle in a mech just go at one another.
Meanwhile, I think that Team Liquid are very happy with their current state of the game. Of course, Creme in a great position to carry for top esports, but the reality is that Yeon, the superstar of the roster, is being set up for success right now. APA may have found an angle.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an option here. Does manage to get the explosive charge down. Mini stun into the wall with that buster shot as CoreJJ maybe a little bit late to this party. And Creme sent home once again.
I don't think he's too upset about that.
Yeah, it's still 20 CS in the lead. Feeling pretty okay with
He certainly will be.
situation.
And there's the Malignant secured for the mid laner of top esports. He's in a great position overall. He's going to be providing a lot of damage in the upcoming fights. Dragon and Grub spawn are still a ways away. I say Grub, I mean the Herald, of course.
Yep, Harold, the big grub. Nice dodge there from CoreJJ.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Herald?
Harold.
What happened to Shelly?
I mean, Shelly, sorry, yeah. That's,
Is that lore that I'm not familiar with?
When things change on the map, I get very confused.
Okay.
And the Grubs also really, or the Kevins, they used to be the Kevins as well, and I gave up on that one at the same time.
Oh, you did? Because it
yeah.
wasn't sticking?
Yeah, it just wasn't.
No, let's get it.
It's okay.
You know, in school, I tried to change my name to Captain Awesome, and this is not a joke.
Really?
On my lab coat, when I was in 6th form, I had Captain Awesome written on it.
It's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
Well, you know, I was a confident individual. But
Did
yeah,
you get anyone to call you Captain
no,
Awesome?
I got like the first years in school, because I would come into the class and show chemistry stuff, and they would call me Captain Awesome. People my age, though, ugh, yeah, no, that wasn't really sticking.
It's a bit difficult. In 6th form as well, it's very clicky. You know?
It really is.
So I feel like you need your friend to call you Captain Awesome for it to have any hope
And my friends mocked me.
And also friends, I mean, it's hard to even claim that you have them.
It's true.
That's what I
already
learned just
established.
before, yeah.
I mean, I felt like for a long time I had too many. I feel now I have too many, you know?
I mean, I have to reassess.
You know, I have to.
Because I was just happy to be everyone's friend, but now apparently it's much more difficult, and I thought I was friends with people that maybe now I'm not.
Again, it's just such a strong word, and it's just very there, you know what I mean?
I wonder if Chronicler's my friend. Because I'm somewhat mean to him on the
He's
broadcast.
so friendly, though. He'll be friends with everyone.
Will he?
I think so.
Okay, well, that's good. We can draw the line at Chronicler.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a given.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mal. I'm sure you're watching at home wondering why you're being brought up over and over again. As Impact, looking for an opportunity here. 369, he knew about it. We are just going to move in. Blast Cone there from UmTi. As Vault Breaker going to be used at exactly the right time, almost by accident.
Well, Team Liquid are in position to contest the Herald. APA in a bit of danger.
All right, Chris moves on forward. There's an ulti, and APA should just be dead, but Creme tanking this turret, and he gets the heal from Chris, and he's going to be A-OK. Minions there at the ready as well, so not needing to worry about this one. And that could just be this outer turret being taken down as well.
I mean, Creme is
6
getting
scrubs
monstrous at this point.
Yeah.
He is doing a really good job on the side lane. I love his coordination with Crisp as well. They really locked up APA, mitigating his options. He did have the flash available, chose not to use it, thinking he could find an avenue for an outplay. But unfortunately for APA, he does not quite find it. Meaning that Creme now 3-0-0, first tower for the team.
He is quite far ahead as well. We can see slight leads for the AD carry in jungle here on TL's side, but the leads are really growing elsewhere. The solo lanes especially, 369 and Creme, we know what they can do when they get those leads at the same time. We're going to check this one out one more time, and it's just combo after combo from Creme. It's unrelenting.
Yeah, I mean, the jump already used from APA, the knock-up coming through from Crisps as he tanks the tower. It ends up being Creme that gets the aggro. They were worried about that final tower shot. It's a close one for sure, but Crisp didn't want to take any risks, so he ends up burning both summoner spells. Could come back to hurt him later, but we'll see as the game continues. In terms of experience, Creme about a half a level ahead of APA, so that one's not really running away into anything too crazy, but a 1.4k gold advantage over his lane opponent. Creme's in a great position, but this will be great data. As someone who's not really a believer in this champion, if he can't carry from this position, I feel like I'll have pretty compelling evidence.
Yeah, and if not, you've seen what a good Aurora is supposed to look like.
100%.
And Crisp, he's going to get knocked up. He is a man with a door and not very many friends in this area. And so he will get stunned up. Arrow going to connect there as well as the Crescent Guard is used interestingly. Meanwhile, Teleport comes in from Creme and the heroic entrance to try and save the jungler of TL. This is a little bit of a nightmare as Crisp has the door, but Impact just says, get the heck out of here. Rains down that punch with the passive, still finds himself in no man's land and will be shut down. A 2 for 2 in the end. And TL going to continue pushing here in mid.
A chaotic back and forth between the teams that was initiated by Team Liquid. UmTi diving very deep to get that initial kill. Yeon, if he could land another Q, there's an avenue for a kill here.
Yeah, looking for an opportunity. Kanavi just going to be moving away though. And it looked like nothing is going to really happen. So, Top Esports now going to just push through for this top side. And this is what happens. You lose 6 grubs, and then if anyone gets any spare time with any turret ever, it's just more gold going their way. And you can see top Esports going to be moving to about a 3,000 gold lead as that top outer does fall down. But let's have a look at this fight one more time.
So the Herald falls in favor of top Esports. Crisp, they know that he doesn't have any summoners, so they immediately turn their attention onto him. But UmTi very quickly getting collapsed on by the rest of top Esports as 369 makes his way down. The Galio has the ultimate though, as Creme is getting into a bit of a fight between three people. He uses the ultimate beautifully to dance around the fight, but his HP is a little too low. Flash comes in to allow for the impact to secure that double kill. But the rest of Team Liquid is a little bit too separated to escort him to safety, meaning that top Esports can respond with a kill of their own.
It's a very satisfying Colossal Smash, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It certainly was.
Or wait, I forget what the passive was called. But anyway, the big old punch from the Galio, and that's a lot of money going over towards him as well. So Impact is going to start doing damage. Riftmaker on the way, could imagine. Already has that unending despair.
I will say that even though the fights look pretty promising for Team Liquid, the problem is they're not really converting it into much, whereas top Esports, 2 towers in their name, they got themselves the Herald, they're putting pressure down onto this ad attack. And look at the minimap, the Galio rotating down while 369 continues to push up. APA grouping with the team as well.
Ooh, a little bit of an engagement here as Creme completely pushed away. APA finding an ultimate that he was looking for as Creme's all over the place. Meanwhile, though, UmTi taking a lot of damage. Impact as well, not as tanky as he otherwise wants to be. And it's a 1-for-1. The problem is it's a 1-for-1 and there's a lot of damage onto that outer turret into the mid lane. And control is still there from top Esports.
Feels like with 369 in the area, Team Liquid really can't afford to approach.
Cease and desist and the equalizer both available as well.
They have too many resources. Kanavi has found CoreJJ, but it's just more of a warning punch.
Oh,
Yeon.
Yeon, that's not where he wants to be. The flash does come on through. He cleanses to avoid the slow, and it's heroic from UmTi, but he still does the equalizer to pick off the 80 carry. And it was only a matter of time. The delay as TES used all those resources to take down TL.
And just as we say it, Team Liquid, it was a dangerous approach. They'd already used so much in the prior fight. Top Esports still had so many resources left. And the moment that Yeon oversteps 369, he sees the avenue of attack. He flashes onto the 80 carry of Team Liquid. And that was really what started off the demise of TL.
And this Hextech Drake, thankfully for TL, they did manage to take the first dragon. This is only going to even things out. We'll be able to find out in a second what our Seoul is going to be. But let's have a look at this fight one more time, as it was a little bit awkward. It started off quite well, as Creme was out of position. But unfortunately, the rest of TES were in the right spot, and this teleport from 369.
The fight on two fronts is what made it difficult, because the front line of Team Liquid has now been eviscerated. And as you highlighted, so many of the ultis were still available, in particular from this Vi in the Rumble. And then 369, utilizing the Fog of War, catches Yeon out. JackeyLove commits his flash to try and secure that kill, but then the Rumble ultimate finishes off on one side, the ulti coming in from the Vi on the other, and it's just systematic destruction. Top Esports, they're known for their team fighting, and they demonstrate why with great patience. If you overstep your boundaries, they will punish you for it.
And we were talking about it a lot in our previous series, but target selection is important when you have a composition like this for TES, and we're seeing what it means when you execute on that perfectly. JackeyLove just going from one to the other, the rest of the team right there with him, so that this Frost Shot is getting so many of these slows, so that you can then make sure you're stunning all of the targets that Braum has his passive on. It is looking really difficult here for TL at this point in time. I don't think they're out of it just yet. There is Wombo availability, and there is scaling that they theoretically have on their side as well, but it's starting to feel too little, and it might be getting towards too late as we go further into this one, as UmTi sticking around, getting some information where he can, but Crisp wrapping around too. And the map is getting smaller and smaller here for Team Liquid, as UmTi learning that the hard way. Does Blast going his way out to safety though.
Pressure is good. Arrow comes through.
Oh, connects there on to the Galio, so he is pretty tanky. He's still going to flash. Actually, don't even know whether he needed to. He's looking pretty tanky, but JackeyLove still hasn't caught up just yet, and he's got 2 items, Kraken Slayer as well as that Hurricane.
Credit to JackeyLove, by the way. He was relentlessly camped, but he's done a great job of bouncing back. Creme, I think, has made a few positional errors. It's kind of cost his lead in the side lane, but you can see that he's still able to find some nice trades against APA. He's a full level behind APA, though, as the Atakan is being started off.
Yeah, this is somewhat dangerous. Teleport's available for both of the solo lanes on TL's side. Still, few seconds away for 369, but it doesn't seem to matter too much as he is in this area. And so Creme, he comes down. TL still haven't pulled the trigger just yet. Remember that combo as the quickness does come on down. JackeyLove is targeted, and there's the Galio delivery. They take down the Ashe immediately. 369 still a fair bit of damage, but Creme pushed away. UmTi very low, but he's done his job for now. Able to move his way out, audaciously charging towards Rakan as it's down to 1,000 health. It's ridiculous. They lose their jungle as Impact realizes that Kanavi's here with a smite, and he can do nothing about it. The Rakan is going to be taken. The Rakan is going to be taken. And it looked so good until it was terrible. All right, never mind. Creme going to be taken out. Here is Yeon looking for even more. Crisp running. Remember, this is only them being sent back to bait. No, never mind. It was the other Rakan that I didn't even think existed as the door runs out at just the wrong time. And 369 throwing these harpoons, but Yeon, he is still looking for more. This man is so bloodthirsty, but unable to catch up after the blast cone. Oh, okay.
What was that team fight? It went from good to bad to good. And you could say that for both perspectives.
Yeah.
That was what was crazy about it, that it started off with Top Esports wanting to force the fight. They initiate the Rakan, and they force TL to come to them. But JackeyLove's positioning here, he's trying to apply the slows, but he becomes a prime and easy target with the nice follow-up. So the AD carry is gone. Then I think Team Liquid going a little too deep with some really nice damage coming through from Creme, forcing UmTi very low. The ulti's forced to come through. APA separated, and now look at how Team Liquid immediately becomes split apart. They don't have that front line to play around anymore. Kanavi on the left can basically 2 versus 1. I don't know, I guess Rakan is also helping him, turning it into a 2 versus 2. Meanwhile, the rest of Top Esports is zoning them away, but then they zone away too much. And so Yeon then turns it around and is able to find a few more kills.
Yeah, with the fact that 369 moved towards the Rakan instead, it meant that all their health bars were actually elsewhere. True shot for us, great snipe there from Yeon, who does still have a gold advantage over his lane opposition. And we've been singing this guy's praises. He is definitely the one they're going to be leaning on here on TL's side later on into this game. He's currently moving to meet up with the rest of his team. You can see how aggressively Top Esports are positioning themselves around this Baron pit. Not a whole lot to fight for right here, but the Baron is going to be up in 5 seconds time to provide a big opportunity for one of these teams. Not wanting to take it just yet. 369 towards that bottom side, teleport at the ready. Top might just be looking for this dragon as it does spawn. So that is going to be dragon number 3, their second. All right.
I mean, the reality is...
Give it to me straight. How bad is it for TL?
It's pretty bad. I wouldn't say that it's unwinnable, especially given how Top Esports, I would say that their fights are definitely chaotic. But it feels like in the extended fights, Top Esports is just in a class of their own. You know, domestically, they were also known for their unbelievable team fighting. That 369 is very famous for his Cassante, right? But it's seen on many of the champions that he plays, in the patience that he demonstrates, his target selection. And I think we're seeing that here. His synergy with Kanavi has really been the big reason why Top Esports have been outdoing TL in the extended fights. But a single good fight could turn the tables. With catching out JackeyLove like that is a great demonstration of what's possible.
Yeah, and I think that he is sort of the only target that they can reliably get onto as well. So I think continuing to do that does make a lot of sense.
Flash is up now, though. Actually, was his
Infinity
Flash available in the last fight? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm going to need to pass on that particular question. I do not have the answer. Infinity Edge is very, very close to being done here for APA. Does finish it now on this back. That's 2 items. Not exactly enough for him to be a real threat. Does kind of want to get towards 3. We'll see whether he has enough time to do so, as UmTi looking to clear away as much of his jungle as he can, stay as relevant as possible. Spirit Visage is completed as CoreJJ finds a bit of a knock-up onto Kanavi. The Kanavi does not care about that 1 iota. There's now Impact coming in, but he's heroically entrancing onto nothing. because CoreJJ's already dead. The Winds of War come down though. Knock up onto Creme is decent. APA not auto-attacking, and Yeon wasn't quite there yet. And so unfortunately, it's just not quite enough. Creme able to go golden to avoid the turret taking him down. And now Jackie, he's got his fangs in. The frost shot onto Yeon, and there's the last auto. The revenge for the Ashe, as now they're going to take down this inner turret. And man, they could take a whole lot more as well, as the Baron could be an opportunity here for Top Esports.
Zero hesitation, Top Esports, they collapse onto Team Liquid and they just tear them apart. With the Baron open, it's an easy objective to convert it into a level 17 369. And when we get to see the replay, you'll notice how it's just so quick in how they collapse, because they turn their attention onto Core, and then APA can't really join the fight because of the positioning of 369, allowing him to both join the rest of his team, but also zone the mid laner away. So keep your eyes on the positioning of this fight, because the engage comes through on the CoreJJ. Team Liquid are just, they're separated. The TP's gonna come through. Creme is just dancing around them. And then notice here how APA, he wants to offer assistance, but 369's angle makes it very difficult. He just walks towards him menacingly. APA's forced to disengage, and then 369 is in a position to collapse with the rest of his team as they just melt through Team Liquid. So another well-executed team fight that really should cement Top Esports' victory here in Game 1.
Certainly should, especially with what happened afterwards, which was the Baron being taken without too much of a contest. As we're having a look at CoreJJ running really quickly, getting a nice little double knock-up. Let's see whether they actually manage to find something good here as Yeon. I'm not sure about that arcane shift, just wanting to try and get behind the door as APA, he manages to get a kill. They take down JackeyLove once again, and that was one of their missions. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to keep their Nexus alive, as APA, no Buster Shot, no chance. Actually does have the Buster Shot, so never you mind. Able to use that. It's going to buy him a few extra seconds. There you go. Rocket Jump as well. Blast Cone, not even used. Uses it to get rid of Kanavi instead. That's very, very cute. And yeah, he will go down. So it buys a bit of time, you could say. But in the meantime, 369's taking down the inhibitor in the mid lane, and Top Esports are still being able to claim a whole lot of money and avenues towards this Nexus.
I mean, they're just too fast is the thing. Team Liquid, they're trying to set up a flank onto JackeyLove, but Top Esports is already reading the play. The TP comes through, but I think the TPs are a little bit too late because CoreJJ is already down. The AD carry is quick to follow, and now the rest of the team joins. But look on the other side, Impact's like, he's just getting obliterated by both Creme and 369. So I would argue that the reality is that TL have the right idea, and they're setting up to try and create these opportunities. Unfortunately, Top Esports is reading it, and they're just shutting it down before it can really gain any traction. And look at Kanavi, a 9-0-4 scoreline.
Yeah.
He and 369, I think, have been so instrumental in transitioning their early game lead into a strong mid-game performance, and now they're just decimating Team Liquid in the fights.
And I want to go back to something that you were talking about earlier on, and that is the Aurora Vi situation. The best way, it seems to me, from watching this game, is to make it not about Aurora Vi, you just make it about Vi Rumble instead.
Oh yeah.
And that seems to have worked very, very well, as speaking of Aurora, she's going to be in a fair bit of trouble. Looks like Creme is just going to be taken down. The Equalizer going to be stood on. UmTi takes half of his health bar, but now they're going to turn it on to 369 as best they can, and he just gets melted by the Flame Spitter. CoreJJ now running for the hills. Yeon is also at about 300 health as APA cannot avoid the gigantic fist of Kanavi. And TL, with just their bottom lane remaining, I don't think they're going to be able to defend as these Nexus turrets go down. The door is given, not even a true shot barrage, able to sail over as a grand entrance coming on through. But TL, I think they know that this one is done and dusted. And I think they're happy that 369 cannot play Rumble again in this series. This guy has looked so good. Top Esports really bouncing back from a difficult day one as they take their first Nexus of first stand.
A bit of a shaky early game, but the reality is Top Esports in the 5v5 are just monstrous as they lead the series 1-0.
Absolutely amazing stuff, but now it is time for us to head to a short break. When we get back, we get to see whether TL can bounce back.